Sims, let's go. No, I'm good, but I bet you wish it I would have a one night. Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight, we're going to be chatting with Mr. Rudy Daniel. He is an author and the co-founder of an app called Affirmate. So stay tuned. Miracle Sims, let's go. No, I'm good, but I bet you wish it I would have a one night. Yeah, it's a miracle, baby. Shot chill, Miracle Sims, let's go. No, I'm good, but I bet you wish it I would have a one night. But I'm not the type of girl that goes. Yeah, it's a miracle, baby. Shot chill, Miracle Sims, let's go. You wish it I would have a one night affair. Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. I'm here with Rudy Daniel. How you doing?
Hey, Miracle. Great to see you. Thank you. I'm great.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Welcome to the GSL Talk Show. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about where you're from and then also a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I was born a long time ago, back in the Soviet Union, which is a far history for most of young people. I'm almost 40 now, and I'm an author, philosopher, and entrepreneur in the mindfulness space. Also a musician, but not professionally, just doing it for my soul. I love music, I love the arts, and I love life. So I'm enjoying talking about the matters you cover here on your show.
Awesome. I mean, I know you were telling me about, books and apps and different things of that nature. So, I mean, I know we have a lot to explore with everything you have going on.
For sure.
So, what got you into the work that you're doing today?
It was a long journey, which began, well, I guess it began when I was born, but if I have to pinpoint it, somewhere in my mid-30s, I was kind of bored with life. It felt very mundane, I felt that life has become a sort of a drag, because everything that I wanted to explore as an adult has already been explored. And all the things that I've done had seemed to me back then that there are not much exploration to be done there. So I had a family life and a career and businesses and so on. And from the outside, it seemed to be as if I'm possessing all the attributes and values that a happy person should have, but I wasn't happy. And so it took me to exploring deep questions about myself, like the question of who am I? What is this place we call the universe? What is the meaning of all that? Because it seems to me back then, and obviously it seems to me now, that this is the most important questions we can ask. Otherwise, all the other assumptions we make about ourselves and all of these qualities that color us have no meaning if we don't know who are we. It's like a very strange game that we're playing with ourselves. So I engaged with those questions, and it took me to a very fascinating journey. And through this journey, I wrote the book Behind the Mask, Beyond the Mind, and eventually, from cultivating philosophies and traditions that I encountered throughout the years, I found myself once again as an entrepreneur, but this time in the space that I was so involved with, which is mindfulness. And through this journey, me and my co-founder, we developed the Affirmate app, which we launched a few months ago, which we can talk about later if you like. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, that's why you got into the work. So definitely answer the questions. Gave us a little bit of a sneak peek into some of the other work you've been doing alongside of all the amazing things you've already shared. So really cool. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think we all go through a journey where we're trying to figure out, those answers, those big questions in life and things of that nature. I mean, obviously it takes people on different paths and things like that. But I mean, hey, it sounds like it's taking you in a way where I guess not just you're able to profit off of it and whatnot, but it inspires some things I would say, right?
Absolutely. It inspired me and it gave me the motivation to continue this exploration and this journey.
Mm, mhm. So do you feel like you have your answers to your questions now, or do you feel like, oh, I'm still figuring it out day by day, or how are you feeling now?
I'm always in the position of being a student
Mm,
because this position is not limiting my consciousness. If I was to say that I have the answers to all the questions, I would end up in the position of being stuck, clinging to a certain truth
mm,
that I've developed throughout my thinking mind. I can say for sure that I now know things not as a sort of intellectual knowledge, but more of an experimental level that I've
mm,
experienced. But those things are ineffable. So when I'm trying to talk about them, reason them, even with myself, they are becoming as concepts. And so
mm,
if we're talking in language, no, I don't have the answers to all the questions. But within me, I know. When you ask me, I don't. But when you don't, I know. So,
mm,
it's a kind of paradoxical thing. But yeah, and it's always interesting to be open to new information and a new way of thought, a new way of feeling, because otherwise, what is the point? Let's say that you have accomplished all of the knowledge that you want to accomplish, and now you know all the absolute truth. So what is the point of going on from there?
mm,
So I think the nature of reality is constant change. We see that life is a flux, is transient, and it keeps on changing. There is no day that it's like a day before. There is no one fingerprint that is alike to another fingerprint. So this is the nature of nature. So why should we consider that we can conceptualize the truth with our faculty that we call the thinking mind? I think it's not
mm,
possible, and I'd rather stay in the position of the student.
mm. I get that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I know it makes me think about a lot of some things I was thinking about earlier today, this morning, and then also, conversations me and my husband have had about like just life and just in general and stuff. And um it's just very interesting. Like on one hand, I like for example, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus and the Bible and things of that nature. But then there's so much that I don't know right about the whole thing. To be honest and stuff like that. And so I'm on this journey of constant learning, and but even with that, it's like you said, it's this moment of like feeling it within that I know, right? But then also that moment of staying in the place of still asking questions and trying to look at it from different perspectives and things like that. So I was telling my husband the other day, I feel like, well, I didn't make this quote, but there was a quote that says that, the wisest of us know that they don't know anything, basically. And those that think that we're wise and know all, then you probably don't, type of thing. I probably butchered the way the quote goes, but something like that. So it sounds like
Yeah,
you're on that same type of journey.
yeah. The Hindus say those who knows the Brahman in the Hindu tradition is the Godhead, is
Mm,
basically the source. So they say those who knows the Brahman knows him not,
mm,
and those who don't know the Brahman truly knows him.
mm,
In the same way, Jesus said, he said, if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you should become as a child again. So, what it means, it's not physically become as a child, but mentally become as a child. And what is a child mentally? A child is something naive, something that
mm,
has no concept of reality, something that has no specific truth, has no interest in truth, has just interest in being, just
mm,
interest in being what it is, and not trying to be something else. So this is the way to enter the kingdom of heaven, even according to Jesus.
Mhm.
So for
Like even the
sure,
curiosity, yeah, the curiosity I think too there. Obviously
yeah.
Cheryl and stuff, he's always asking questions and everything. It's like I wonder like what's up with that, and then I guess I'm like, well, I guess I'm still that way in some ways, and so yeah, I get it. Awesome. So I mean, so first came the book, then comes the apps and different things of that nature, right? So tell us
Yeah.
about your books. Like how, what kind of books do you have out there, and you know.
So currently, I have only one book. It's my first book, and it's called "Behind the Mask, Beyond the Mind." It's a very short book. It's about 150 pages long, so it's like a 2-hour read, something like that. And it's a book about myself. I begin with a description of events that occurred during my childhood, which I refer to as mystical events. Back then, I didn't know what it meant, but I didn't have the tools to unpack those events. And then throughout my adolescence and adulthood, when I encountered again these questions that we were discussing in the beginning of the podcast about the nature of reality. And the book turns into a sort of dialogue between me and the reader, in which I present questions about existence. And the reader needs to take time and answer them within themselves. So it's a kind of a dialogue. This book does not offer new doctrines or new belief systems, but rather the book questions the belief systems of the people who read it, about themselves, about reality, about God, about what it is. And in this book, I offer um, basically to take a look to on an important thing we have in life, which we call mindfulness, which is very distinct from meditation. We can talk about it if you like as well, but basically mindfulness is the ability to be present and fully intensely aware of the present moment, and it can be done by various methods like washing the dishes, cooking, eating, speaking to a friend, or just sitting by yourself or walking down the street. It requires no specific method. It just requires the full attention of the person to the present moment. And what happens if you practice that is you create a sort of a crack in reality. At least that what happened to me and people I know and read about. And through this crack, you can see the profoundness in life. You can see that the mundane life you thought um, the world was, because most of adults are treating the world as, like, okay, the world. It's kind of, that they lose the magic of it, the astonishment that in the first place we have a world. I mean, it's crazy. It's
Mhm.
crazy. We have trees and animals and speaking bodies. It's insane. So through the practice of mindfulness, eventually we come to the realization of we went with these linguistic concepts too far, and we have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten that this place, by definition, is magical, and it takes us back to our childhood, and hence we can enter the kingdom of heaven according to Christianity and according to different religions and myths across the world.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think you answered something in regards to like it just kind of reminded me of how we just need to slow down sometimes. It's like we're so I guess into routines and patterns where we're just working, and and you're not taking the time, like they say, to smell the roses or just appreciate the what we think are the little things, but if we even think of them at all, like you said. So um, I kind of was thinking a lot about that. I would say a few weeks ago about like, when do I take my Sabbath and when do I actually rest for real and stuff. And so I definitely want to, I guess, become more mindful. I know that's a phrase these days people are just throwing out there, but um, yeah, I think, there's something to, taking that time. And I don't know if it's just rest and vacations or something, or if it's just like being more intentional about,
So,
again,
so I can
every
elaborate on that. That's a great question. That's an amazing question. And people, like you said correctly, throw the term mindfulness uh, as if mindfulness was about taking a vacation, which is absolutely not the case. So let's make a distinction of terminology so it will be easy to understand. I noticed that in the West, we tend to speak of meditation and mindfulness synonymously, give or take. Okay, so let's talk about meditation first. So meditation is an Eastern tradition, a very, very old Eastern tradition that was imported to the West, stripped away from its cultural context and understanding, and is practiced today in the West as a sort of good for you exercise when you need to close your eyes and think of nothing. And for most Westerners, this is unattainable. Without the cultural context, without the understanding of the meaning, even the word itself, meditation, is not the right word, because meditation implies thinking about something, which is not the case at all. We need to meditate about something. This is the meaning of meditation in English, which is not the word in Sanskrit from where it is imported. So meditation in the cultural context in the East is the essence of our being, the peaceful essence of our being, who we are, stripped away from experience, stripped away from all the qualities we have gathered and assembled throughout the years. And now we have this perception of who we are. So stripped away from this, stripped away from the sensation of the body, here is meditation. And this is not a practice, this is a way of being, if you understand the context. But in the West, we treat it otherwise. This is why people develop meditation fatigue. And you ask people, do you meditate? And they say, yeah, I've tried that for a few months or a few weeks. And I gave up because I didn't see any results. And I know why. If you close your eyes and sit for 10 minutes with your body still, without motion, you will straight away see how difficult it is not to move for 10 minutes. For a go, go, go attitude culture is crazy. And then try forcing your mind not to think, which is ridiculous. No one can force his mind to do anything. If we could force our mind and force our feelings, we would be happy all of the time because we would choose to be happy. So this is not the case, obviously, and we cannot force the mind. And when you try, you see how the mind grates against you. And during the meditation, you are dealing with all your drama, with your body is itching, and you're thinking about your friend or the email you forget to send, or work, or anxiety, and you're not meditating. You're just speaking to yourself in your own head. So this is not the point, and this is why in the West we don't understand meditation in the same way that yoga has become some sort of a gym exercise, which is absolutely not the case in the East. Yoga means union. Yoga is the way back to the divine through certain practices, and people who do yoga, they are called yogis, and it's a way of life. It's not a sport. So this is meditation. Now let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very straightforward concept. It's super easy to understand. It literally says that in the word itself, it's being full of mind. It's being mindful. Mindful of what? So let's say that you're drinking your coffee. It's an example that I love to give because it's so easy to relate, because we all like coffee, aren't we? So when you drink your coffee, you have two ways of drinking your coffee. You have the simple way, just drink the coffee to get the caffeine in and the sugar and wake up and be more productive and so on. And the second way is, let's call it the mindful way. So the mindful way would be you are very intensely aware that you're drinking the coffee. And this is a sort of experience that your audience can do at home. Certainly not while they're driving. I will not advise that. But, just hold the cup of coffee in your hands, and first of all, try to feel the sensation of the heat going through the glass or through the cup into your hands, and try to explore this sensation. I know it sounds weird because we're so used to it. Oh, this is how this is called. But strip away those ideas for a second and be mindful of the sensation. After you're after you're done that, try to smell the aroma of the coffee and let it play with your senses. Let it go through your nose and be with it. Just try to understand what is it that I'm smelling now, and let it immerse in you. And after you are done with that, drink the coffee and feel the sensation on your lips, feel it on your tongue, and follow the motion of the coffee when it goes through your body. This is mindfulness. Now you can take this technique and implement it in anything that you do. You can do it while you're cooking, you can do it while you're walking, you can do it anywhere, anytime. And it requires no specific efforts, just the power of attention that we have as our virtue by nature. All you have is the power of the attention. When I say move your hand, you're taking your attention to your hand. And when I say think of a monkey, you're taking your attention towards this thought, a monkey. So we know how to do that. And all we have to do is bring our attention as intensely as we can to the present moment. And at first, it might be a bit strange because we're not used to it. But with time, it will develop, and it will not be a practice anymore. It will be just a way of life. It will not be this sort of, I have to meditate today because I forgot to meditate for 2 days or something like that. No, you will just do it because it becomes part of you. And this is very good for a Western kind of mind that don't need this all heavy cultural background of practicing meditation or these high or so-called high spiritual techniques.
And I mean, obviously, it seems like you do this often or something, and that you see a lot of value in this type of practice. To just taking that extra time to go through the, I guess, obviously even the journey, right, of doing that with the coffee or with whatever. I mean, I don't know, like what. So what has that done for you to practice doing this?
I kind of misheard you. You said, what is the value?
No. I say I can tell that you see a lot of value in taking those moments, and I just was kind of wondering, like, not necessarily what is the value, but like from your perspective, like what has that brought into your life to take those the extra time.
Yeah. So as I said before, I used to look at reality as something mundane. Um, okay, every morning this is the world. I'm used to it. Tree, okay, flower, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of life, and I feel this sort of life is very common amongst most of people today, most of adults today. This is why anxiety and depression are becoming the new pandemic. People are extra stressed, and they see life as a sort of a drag, that something they need to fight, something they need to conquer, something they need to resist. It's me against the world attitude, and everyone is so confused. So what I'm saying is, instead of trying to solve the so-called problems of life with your thinking mind, which is not possible, just be mindful of what you're doing now, and it will be unveiled. There's nothing more than I can say about it, because it's like I said, it's experimental. It's like I would to describe you music. I can be very articulate about how do I describe music, but it wouldn't be the same if you heard the music. So this is the difference. What I'm trying to point out is, listen to the music, listen to the music of life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's definitely something beautiful about, all the things you're saying. And I think, hey, it made me want to be like, should I do this with the water right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, it's definitely something to think about. I mean, obviously, this has inspired a lot in you, and you mentioned an app and things of that nature. So I would love for you to share with us about that. And I know you said there was something special you wanted to do with us using your app and things of that nature. So, yeah, feel free.
Yeah, and thank you, Miracle, for giving me the opportunity to speak about the app. It's something I'm very excited about. And basically, the Affirmate app, which me and my co-founder Roy we launched a few months back, is the represents this philosophy that I've discussed. That you know how today's mindfulness apps are mostly meditation apps, and it's a sort of a schooling system. You know, you listen to guides and you meditate and stuff like that. And as I said, this stuff don't work for us. And the philosophy of Affirmate is short, engaging, fun practices that does not feel like a chore. It's not something you have to do. It's something you want to do. And we build the app around this philosophy to make it repeatable, to make it easier to cultivate. And as our slogan goes, you are what you repeat. It's like you are what you eat. So we really believe in it. And from our first 3-4 months, we got a lot of great feedback from people, and people love it. And so we continue to develop it. And I would like to do a cool thing. We have a practice inside the app that is called Sound Buff. So what Sound Buff is many people know it as sound healing. So it's a combination of ancient and modern instruments like singing bowls, Tibetan bowls, gongs, didge, and a lot of instruments really. So we have inside this practice almost 90 instruments now, and it's kind of the gift of music for everyone, because you can combine these instruments together. They are made in a certain way that you don't need any skills. You just tap on the icons and it plays, and it combines with everything else that you play. So you don't need to be a musician for that. And you can also record it, share it, and of course you can create music for yourself. You can do music for sound healing. You can do it for affirmations, meditation, sleep, relaxation, whatever. And what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, to give just like a 1-minute demonstration of the sound buff. I'll just connect my Bluetooth and we'll give it a shot. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. Yeah.
All right, so connecting my speaker. And what I'll be doing now for the next minute is just adding instruments, and you will be able to hear that. So if you're at home and you have a comfortable place to sit and close your eyes, just immerse yourself in the music. And if you're not, just listen. And I will introduce every couple seconds a new instrument. So let's start with a hung drum. Let me know if you can hear it. You can. Okay. So this was the sound bath. So what I used in this composition was the hang drum, a rain stick, a singing bowl, a tingsha, a bansuri flute, the sound of waves, the sound of crows, and another combination of singing bowls. So I just use like about 10 instruments, but you can use any instruments you like, and you have elements from nature like fire, water, breath, om mantras, and we'll keep on developing this. So basically everyone can become a mindful musician, which is great. And we are very excited about that. And I hope you enjoyed the demonstration as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so you were saying that you were putting in individual sounds yourself. It wasn't like a pre-recorded.
No, we created all the sounds ourselves. I
It was
have a
like
background.
individual sounds, and they're all being put together. Huh.
Yeah. So you have all these individual sounds, and when you're tapping the icons of the sounds, you're adding them to a space, and then they play together like a band. So you can create a band of 80 musicians, which is crazy. So you can just, ask your friends to lie down, put a Bluetooth speaker, and organize a session for them with sound healing. So while it's playing, you can say affirmation, you can say a prayer, you can say positive stuff, and it could become a very powerful mindful practice.
I mean, well, it sounds really cool. I can tell like the excitement that you have for it and everything. And so, I pray that you continue to have success, you and your partner that you've worked with to create this. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to be long your time because I know you're a busy man. You got other things to do, but I do appreciate you coming by and sharing with us here on the GSL Talk Show. But you can't go without sharing. Where can we get your book? Where can we get the app? Where can we find more about you?
Yeah, so you can just download the app from the Apple Store or the Android Store. You just look for Affirmate, and it's called Affirmate Mind Body Presence. It has a logo with a wave, or you can go to our website at affirmate.app. And of course, I'll be happy to share the links with you so you can attach it to the show notes, which make the life of listeners even easier by clicking them. And also the book, you can find it on Amazon and on most platforms for audiobooks, and you can also read it as a book or order it as a paperback. It has all the options. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can of course find me on social media, or you can send a message through the Affirmate website or the Affirmate app. Me and my co-founder currently are answering all of customers' emails and messages because it's so important for us to get the feedback. And it would be great, people from your audience, if you can send us your feedback as well. If you can post your feedback on the stores, that would be awesome. It will help us grow. It will help us spread the word and make the experience even better.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for visiting. And is there anything else you want to share with us before you go?
Actually, no. I just want to thank you for the kind interview, and you have great energy and great vibe. And I hope you have a beautiful, mindful life. And you can. I don't know if I wish you to find the answers to all your questions, but at least I wish that your curiosity and motivation will persist.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I hope you have again, successful, with your brand, your book, and everything else, the rest of your endeavors.
Thank you so much, Miracle.
Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show, and thank you to Mr. Rudy for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and check out his book and his app and the rest of his endeavors. Have a good night.